Ladies and gentlemen, so I can declare tonight's forum meeting open at 5:30. Welcome everyone. Just a reminder to members online or members of the public, tonight is a question and answer night. It's not a decision making night. So if anyone is looking at this, it is just a chance for councillors to ask questions about all the items that are presented before us, and we'll make a decision on them next week. So item number 2, we are on page 6 of our agenda, is opening procedures. So 2.1 is acknowledgement of country. So the Shire of Northern would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land in which we meet, and that is both the Ballarong and Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 2.2 is recording of council meetings. Members of council are well aware, and members of the gallery may not be aware. Sorry, Sally, you are. They're advised that this meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded, and it's made available on the Shire of Northern's YouTube channel, which Councillor Atherton will have a look at. If members of the public would like to have access to the recording of this meeting, they can do so via the Shire of Northern website. All the councillors listed are in attendance, so as usual I'll go from left to right. Councillor Biglan, Councillor Gierak, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Williams, Councillor Mancelli, President Antonio, Councillor Atherton, Councillor Polton and Councillor Hughes, all here. The staff listed are here with a couple of extras. So we have the CEO, Ms Terrelling, Executive Manager Engineering Services, Mr Devsich, Executive Manager Development and Community Services, Mr Hunt, Executive Manager Corporate Services, Mr Young, Manager Governance and Risk, Ms McCall, Acting Governance and Risk Officer, Ms Norrish. We have Ms Van Beek, don't know the titles, Gunnar and David, so staff members. I don't know if they're here formally or informally, but they'll be noted in the minutes as being here. 3.2, apologies, is nil. Then we go to page 7. Item 3.3 is approved leave of absence, nil. 3.4, absent is nil. We now go to page 8, which is item number 4, disclosure of interest. So councillors, just the recording councillors are aware that if they have any partial interest, proximity or financial interest, they make a declaration. If it's financial or proximity, they cannot partake in the debate or the decision making. So I'll just go through these. So we have item 13.1.1, which is lease of a portion of 139 Fitzgerald Street Northern. President Antonio, that's myself, has declared impartiality. Owner of the property subject to this decision is known to President Antonio. Councillor Gierak has declared impartiality. The proprietor, Danjan Proprietary Limited, at 139 Fitzgerald Street Northern, and members of the Northern Town teams are known to Councillor Gierak. And Councillor Atherton, same item, 13.1.1, has declared impartiality. Members of town teams are known to Councillor Appleton. Then we have item 13.2.2, introduction of a 60 km/h speed zone in Morabilla Estate. Get that right? Yeah, Morabilla Estate. Councillor Biglan has declared impartiality. Some of the residents that have made their concerns known to the Shire are known to Councillor Biglan. Councillor Biglan also knows many of the residents of Morabilla Estate. I think I've read that correctly. And the other one who made the same item is Councillor Mancelli. Some owners in the estate are known to Councillor Mancelli, so impartial interest. Now there's item 14.1, which is behind closed doors, so I'll deal with that as the item comes up. Just for the recording, so all councillors had declared impartiality in that item. So then we go to page 9. Sure I've got that right. Which is item number 5, announcements by the presiding member without discussion. So that is as read. So we go to page 11, which is item number 6, public questions. And members of the gallery have advised that they don't have any questions, but I still will refer to them just in case. No public questions. Item number 7 is response to previous public questions taken on notice. That is nil. Item number 8 is receiving of petitions, presentations and deputations. 8.1 petitions is nil. 8.2 presentations is nil. 8.3 deputations. This is where members of the public can apply to basically make a statement or a deputation. So we'll refer to the gallery just to double check there's no deputations to be made. So that's nil. So then we go to page 12, which is item number 9, applications for leave of absence. That is nil. Item number 10 is confirmation of minutes. 10.1 is confirmation of minutes from the ordinary council meeting held 23rd July 2025. I'll just check with councillors if there's any queries or clarifications from those minutes. No. And then item 10.2 is notes from the council forum meeting that's been held tonight, the 20th of August 2025. So we'll deal with that next week, and I'll allow councillors to have questions or clarifications, as that'll be a new item for next week. Item number 11 is items brought forward for the convenience of those in the public gallery. There's nothing that I'm aware of, so I'll just continue on as per normal. Item number 12 is report committee meetings. That is nil. Item 13 is officer reports. 13.1 is the CEO's office. 13.1.1 is lease of a portion of 139 Fitzgerald Street Northam. Just a reminder that Councillors Gearak, Appleton and President Antonio have declared an impartial interest in this item.
Yes.
And
Councillor
Councillor Hughes is also declaring impartiality interest, and Councillor Menchek as well. So that'll be noted in the minutes that and I've all declared it's impartial, so they can partake in question and answer. So there's a recommendation there in the background. Is there any questions on this? Oh, did you or Alicia wanted to give us a briefing on this one? Pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory, an extension of or a continuation of the lease that's currently in place that's been in hold over some time.
Just to confirm that only for that strip of land between the building and the verge, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So essentially, it's really to address the public liability concerns. The mural, initially it was a trial, not trial, it was a short-term lease to support the mural because it was done at that point, and there was a concern from the landowner around public liability with people, being there, painting the mural, viewing the murals. So in order to address that, the Shire leased the land from them so that it would incorporate into the Shire's liability insurance. And the mural's now painted, so officers are supportive of continuing the arrangement.
So I just again to confirm that part of the land will be converted into like a park with some seatings.
Yeah, that's their intent, and that has always been their intent. The seating's not yet established, but that was a question that was asked: is there still plans to have seating in that area to try and activate it? And that's what they've advised. So that's why we're looking at doing a new, like a further term of the lease.
Good, Councillor Wright.
I just have by the next meeting, the directors of that company, just I'm not sure I have a conflict tonight, so they know who the directors of the company are. It's possible, please.
Yep, we can
And
find
I
a
think
big one.
that I have a conflict for the next meeting. Thank you.
Yep.
So further questions, councillors? No? So then we go to page 22. So item 13.1.2 is policy reviews. I'll do the right thing and just say, would you like yourself or Alicia like to give us a briefing on this one, please?
So in terms of the policies, there are obviously a number of council policies that we have, and these policies need to be reviewed from time to time, and a lot of them are reviews of existing policies. There is a recommendation or a policy that we're suggesting be revoked as it is no longer needed. And we have also got a new policy for the independent committee members now that we will soon be required, but have actually put in place independent committee members for our audit and Risk Improvement Committee. These were workshopped by council, with council members previously, and any changes that were suggested at the workshop have been included.
That was my question before, Councillor Garrett, though, I just want to confirm for the people who are looking at this recording, these were definitely workshopped and any typos and clarifications were picked up, were corrected. We know the answer, but it's not public. Thank you. Councillor Garrett.
Yeah, just as one question, please, in regarding to policy CP4. I noticed that there is a comment that removes reference to he, she, and her, him, and her. Will this be the practice with all policy? Moving forward?
Sorry, Councillor Garrett, can you just ask that question again? Sorry.
So one of the dot points under the summary of changes refers to removed reference to he, she, and him, her. So I'm just wondering if this will be a continuing practice in our policies?
Yes, councillor Garrett.
Thank you.
And I apologise that I didn't ask it before, so I apologise to the staff. Just in page 29, I just want to reference myself. I think I picked it up, I just wanted to come up right. Under the scope, page 29 applies to all councillors, all council members and employees, including past members. So I just wanted to clarify, I should have done that before, that was the past councillors.
Yeah.
Yep. Just wanted to clarify, that's what it was. Thank you. Councillor Williams.
Thank you. Yes, apologies because I was unable to make it to the workshop. It's about the new policy, the independent committee members, and it just says that independent committee members of the Shire of Northern committees established under section 5.8, so that's just general committees at large. Is an independent committee member anybody who is not a Shire of Northern person, as it says in the definition? I'm just concerned about the breadth of people being able to seek payment for being on the committees. I know it's currently just the Audit and Risk Committee, but I'm just wondering whether the wording of this actually implies that it is a possibility that may then extend to other committees of council as well.
Yeah, so just to clarify, it's committees of council, so it's those established under the Local Government Act. So council has a number of advisory groups, which aren't committees of council under the Local Government Act. We'll certainly have a look at that wording and have a look and see if there needs to be any adjustments to make sure it's clear that it's, external members.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions, councillors? Councillor Polter.
I've got a question regarding CP23. Can I just be reminded who introduced the live streaming? Was that state or federal?
It was triggered through the reforms, it was in the previous round of reforms.
So is there a opt-out ability for councillors or members of the Shire to have their faces and things blurred?
We might need to take that question on notice and provide a response in the forum notes. I'm not sure whether it does allow for that or not, but we will check.
So the reason I ask is that there's, especially with the AI stuff that's coming up, there's software that can take a recording of your voice and you can use it to have anyone say anything you want them to do. There's also software out there that lets you record somebody's face and do the same sort of thing. And there's an issue there, and I've got an example of
You can try and keep it to a question, councillor.
YouTube. I've got a question at the end. So there's YouTube. There's small business owners that have YouTube channels that have run into the problem of people reproducing their voice and face and creating scam sites. So if we have no choice but to participate, in there, what protection does the state government provide?
I think we need to take that question on notice and check with the Department of Local Government, because it is state government requirements under the Act that we do for Class 1 and Class 2 local governments. We have to live stream and audio record. Class 3 and Class 4 local governments only have to actually audio record. But we will check with the department whether this has been raised as an issue with them previously.
Councillor Mincelli?
Yes, Mr. President. Just in query in regard to the second recommendation on page 28, the remuneration that we're looking at paying retrospectively, that's only applicable for those 2 meetings, isn't it? It's not ad infinitum, is it?
It's only applicable for the 2 meetings that have been held. So it was yesterday's meeting,
And
but it would have, and then the briefing meeting that yourself and the president were in attendance at.
Further questions, councillors? No? No. So then we go to page 102. So 13.2 is engineering services. 13.2.1 is RFT 07 of 2025, Newcastle Road minor rehabilitation and asphalt overlay. Mr. Dev Sitch has come here to brief us on this item.
You're going to tell us a story about it.
There's not much to the story. I'm hoping it's pretty
Yeah,
self-explanatory.
it might be in there.
Doing some minor rehabilitation of the pavement and an asphalt overlay as well.
Just for you.
It's been done, is it? Work on the Forest Street and all that been done, is it?
Yeah, so it'll come from the bridge
Yeah.
as far towards the hospital as the budget will allow.
All right. That's what they're doing there.
So, sorry about the years, I'm not trying to pick on you.
No, it's all
The
good.
question, can you just make sure you put your mic?
Oh, yes.
Councillor Mincelli?
No.
Oh, no, just.
No, just jumping
But
on the phone. So I can reach it.
So Mr. Dempsey just answered the question I had. I just had a specific question last night, so we're going as far as we can. The question I had was the recommendation is about reduction in the drainage budget, I think. So does that affect any quality of work?
So the portion of the budget that we're taking was set aside for materials. That particular budget, we've already got a stockpile of materials that sort of replace that, and the urban drainage was going to be undertaken internally anyway. So it's a budget that we could take some money from.
Thank you. Further questions? No. Then we
So next item.
Yes, and then we have the next item, 13.2.2, introduction of a 60 km/h speed zone, Moravillo Estate. Just a reminder that both Councillor Bigland and Councillor Mincelli declared impartiality in this item. Before anyone asks the question, we'll just ask Mr. Dev to give us a briefing.
So this was in response to some safety concerns around hooning and antisocial behaviour in that estate. The Shire, and then with the assistance of Main Roads, did a follow-up subsequent data capture of traffic there for a period of months. Based on the data that was retrieved, Main Roads have made a recommendation there based on the 85th percentile of the data that was received, that the average speed there was around 64 kilometres an hour. So to achieve the best rate of compliance, an area zone of 60 kilometres has been proposed by Main Roads.
Councillor Bigland.
Thank you. I am aware, you are aware that the people from Moravillo Estate are keen to have it at a 50 km/h zone as opposed to 60. And I guess my question will be is, considering that is the preferred outcome, And our recommendation is for 60. At any point in time over the next 12 months or 2 years, can that be re-looked at and have it dropped a little bit? Bearing in mind that stage 3 is probably will go ahead and we will have potentially cheaper deal. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I think it is one of those trial things. I think that we can monitor over the next 12 to 24 months as there's a little bit of population infill in there, monitor behaviour and see if there's a good level of compliance and potentially capture data that shows that there is a reduction in driver behaviour, and we can request for a further amendment to bring it in line with other states.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan.
Is it possible that the report for main roads could be made available to councillors?
Absolutely, yeah, I can get that advice for sure.
Councillor Mancelli first.
Yeah, just in relation to the main roads report, over what period of time did they actually gauge the speeds? It was only a few days, wasn't it?
We did a few campaigns. So the Shire captured data for it was between 6 and 8 weeks. I need to do a little bit of digging to find out the exact time frame. Yeah. And I think the main roads was a little bit longer than that. Around a similar capture period. So just
Oh, okay, just include that with Councillor Ryan's request to the main roads.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah.
Thank you. I haven't finished yet. I've got another supplementary question. Sorry, President. I just I question the inconsistency between subdivisions in the area. In Kajetta Heights or Kajetta Hill, the speed limit is 50. In Redcourt, where you enter from the golf course roads, it's 50 kilometres an hour. So I'm just wondering why there is an inconsistency. Shouldn't they be uniform? And there has been a history of I'm adding to it now, but has there been a history of speeding through Redcourt at up to 80 and 90 kilometres an hour in the past, with the police requirement to attend and monitor the speeds?
I'm not aware of if the police have monitored the data. The data that we've been able to capture shows that that the driver behaviour has leaned towards that sort of 60, 65, in that range. There wasn't too many that went below or way above in the trial period that we had the date there for. If there's inconsistencies across states, I'm not sure what planning decisions went into that, or what sort of informed that decision. This is dictated to us by the setters of speed limits. So in this instance, we probably don't have much of a choice, but definitely a trial period would be worthwhile.
So Councillor Guerra, then Councillor Appleton. Councillor Guerra first, then Councillor Appleton. No, Councillor Guerra, then Councillor Guerra.
I'm just looking at I'm not familiar with the area, and I'm not 100% certain which part of the estate will be affected by this speed limit change. So would we be able to get a map clearly indicating?
Yes. So it'll be, just in case you're looking at a map at the moment, it'll be from Goldlinks within our estate. So it's a zone speed limit that addresses the whole estate. But we can provide a map as well.
Yeah, so looking at that, and because they look like it's quite densely populated, I'm just wondering why would that decision be made? So generally, one would think that they don't adjusting speed limits to, as was mentioned before, to drivers' behaviour, because then probably speed limit should be listed on Great Eastern Highway 220.
Yeah, there was some method to their decision. What I'll do is I'll pop it all in writing so that we've got their formal response and the justification for that recommendation, and we'll provide that prior to next meeting as soon as we can.
Thank you, Councillor Bigwood.
During the planning stage, i.e. subdivision approval stage, who is responsible for putting the speed around the estate? Is that Main Roads, our Shire Planning Department, or who?
Maybe a better question for our,
It'd be main roads, they're the authority on speed limit zoning, so it would come from them.
just further to that, so when we're looking at approving estates, you do look at the road environment, whether there's schools, those type of things. They will dictate the type of road width that you're aiming for, and the speed environment can be designed accordingly.
Yeah, councillor Midwood.
The residents have, I believe, requested the Shire to consider, have the residents of the Morabello estate considered, the residents of Morabello estate have requested the Shire to be considerate for the amount of school buses and children that are now within that estate. This is where this problematic speed has come from. Have they not asked for some sort of traffic, school bus signs and things like that to also be put around to limit the exposure to the Shire and children being hurt?
Or like school signs,
Bus stop signs that kids get on and off. Because it's pretty free for all at the moment. There's not a lot of signage anywhere around the estate. So they have serious concerns. The residents have serious concerns, irrespective of what they still believe and have voiced their concerns.
We'll keep the question that has the request been made for the additional signs, especially particular to school crossings.
yeah, I'll go back through the request. If it's not been done, we'll undertake a signs audit out there and determine through the PTA where the bus stops are and see if we can make some changes.
Yep, councillor Gerac.
Just another question, are these roads all surface or they have
Further questions, councillors? So, just in summary, we're going to get a couple of things before we debate this next week. Yes. Thanks. And that's all yours. So then we go to page 122. So 13.3 is development and community services is nil. 13.4 is corporate services. 13.4.1 is RFQ 13 of 2025, IT managed services. Mr. Young is going to give us a briefing on that if required. Or?
Yes, I certainly shall. I just remind council that the announcements are both confidential. We currently have an IT managed service where we pay by the hour. Over the years, from when we first took that out in 2017, the cost of that has crept up with going to the cloud and everything going online, and it now becomes compatible with having an actual managed service rather than a pay-by-the-hour service. So the last couple of years, the expenditure that we've been using on the service equals to pretty much exactly on what we can get this for now. We were also prompted to do this. We've had the current provider for quite a while, and we believe that we have outgrown that provider. That provider has limited staff and limited IT knowledge, and as our IT requirements get bigger, more complex, we've really had to go out and look for a better provider with more economies of scale. Not that there's anything wrong with the provider we had, it's just that the providers that we're looking at have more expertise and a bigger skills base within them of IT engineers and a bigger staff, so there's more economies of scale. The one we recommend and have IP rates off if it's an emergency or it's something that's a high priority, that they will guarantee that they will have a look at it within an hour and a half. everything else will be within 3 hours. So the service that we're getting is going to be far superior. The cyber security and everything else is really going to be taken up underneath this. The cost of council will be the same as what it is. We will be able to in the future maybe look at some savings in other areas to offset it as well. So we think it's the way to go. We definitely, it's not going to cost the Shire any more money than at present, but I think it's really going to tighten up and give us a really robust IT provider. So I think that was a summary, and I've got my IT assistant with me if we have any technical
Councillor Appleton.
Just looking at the increase year on year, generally it's based off something similar to CPI. I'm just wondering why the increase between years 1 and 2 are greater than the increase between years 2 and 3, where generally be the other way around.
The cost between year 1 and 2.
Year 1 and 2 is greater than the cost between years 2 and 3, where usually it only increases CPI.
That's because with regards to the costing, what they had provided us was based on full-time and part-time user support, and as a result of which they had given us a number like from for the first year to the second year for full-time users, there's going to be the X amount of rate, and for the second and third year, the Y amount of rate for full-time and for part-time. So that when we calculated it based on our current employee structure that we have, that's the value that we have come up with.
It sounds like the gentleman can correct me if I'm wrong, councillor, is I think we're up in our internal resources, so that there may have an impact on external resources required in future years.
I also think the fact they'll probably give us a little bit of a honeymoon period for the first year to try and then give us a better price and to get us on board to once they get us on board, they can earn a little bit extra money in the next couple of years, I would say.
Hopefully that answers the question. So, further questions, councillors? Yeah, councillor Bolton.
For $149,000, we could employ another full-time staff. Has the Shire considered pulling more of this work in-house and covering it that way?
Well, with regards to the 149, so that includes not only the managed IT support which they're going to be providing us, but also includes your looking into the cybersecurity license as well, which does the EDR for endpoint detection and response. So it's like not only the price not only includes a person, but also a particular cybersecurity product which will sit on top of it to actually monitor and filter out which emails are spam or which are legit, which needs to go through. So it's not only human component, but also the software component is associated in the pricing.
CEO is just going to add to that as well.
The other comment I'd make in that regard is that it is quite challenging to get IT staff. So for us, I think in this particular space, it is a good way to ensure that we have access to those services, but we don't run the risk of not being able to find somebody to deliver the services. So it's another risk mitigation for us in terms of using a supported contract service.
Just go to Mr. Young.
I'll just add to that, currently we have our servers looked at before we buy external IT. We just don't have the expertise to manage them ourselves, and certainly not for the backups and the cyber security. So if we would have to buy a lot more equipment, the service that's being offered is 24 hours a day. So if I come in on the weekend and I go to work and everything doesn't pop up as it's supposed to do, I can just put in a request and it'll be dealt with. So I think cost competitive wise, we believe this cost is in line with what we're currently getting. It's given us a lot more with the IT desk that we're currently doing in-house. So we believe that it is the way to go, and I don't believe that we could be compatible with that agreement in-house.
Councillor Bolton has a follow-up question.
Considering every shire in the state has these same issues, has there been any discussion or collaboration with developing a statewide cybersecurity and IT management system?
Yes, there has been. She asked that this morning. So, it's probably the best way to answer it. Further questions, councillors? So, Mr Young's going to stay for the next item, which is on page 136, which is 13.4.2, accounts and statements of accounts, July 2025. Pretty self-explanatory, Mr Young. I don't think you need to give us any briefing on this one. And I haven't seen any questions and answers come through this at this stage.
I've just got one.
Councillor Bigland?
One question. It's in relation to the Water Corporation for the Wundowie Oval. Is that high because of the Water Corp issue with the pipe that was missed? Was it a first pipe? Is that why that's $1,363? Being winter,
I would have to keep that.
thank you. Sorry.
Of course, it was probably hit at the end of the build cycle where it's in grade or grade, but I will keep on those so I can ensure that that is the correct answer.
Thank you.
And councillors do have questions for Mr Young. I just encourage you to do it before Friday, please. So we've got a chance to investigate. So any other questions on that item? Councillor? Yep. Councillor Hughes?
Do they use recycled water in Wundowie? I know years ago they pumped it to Baker's Hill. There was a pipe put in and a tank.
I believe the guy offered Baker's Hill and used one of the Baker's Hill local. They had their second manager developed the service pipe correctly. It's wrong on that.
Don't answer it, don't want you to.
It's a combination of both. I wouldn't pump to Baker's still, but also use one bit of both.
Thanks, Mr Young. So we go to page 191. So can I please have someone move that we, Councillor Mengelli move, Councillor Atherton second. Procedure, so I'll put it straight to the vote. All those in favour by a show of hands, that's 9-0. Sally, can you please tell the guests the drill? And we're just going to keep, CEO and so awesome. So on page 191 and 191 of our agenda, we've got item number 15, motions of which previous notice has been given, is nil. Item 16, urgent business approved by decision, is nil. Item 17, declaration of closure, is made at 6:34 p.m. Thank you, councillors, for your questions and insights. Thank you, staff and officers.